The Denver Nuggets come up oh so short as Peyton Watson gets a wide open look with the game on the line to take down the Dallas Mavericks, but he doesn't make the shot. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray have incredible offensive games, but the Nuggets, they put themselves in a 21-point hole. They fight all the way back to get in position to win the game, but because of how they started, they weren't able to secure yet another victory on the road. Y'all know what time it is. We got to get into it. This is Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Locked On Nuggets. This is your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. I know it is not the game that you wanted. It is not the ending that you wanted, but today there was a lot of good basketball play. There was some not so great basketball play. The defense continues to look very suspect. Cam Johnson goes down with an injury. Hopefully, it is not something that is going to be a long-term thing, but the Nuggets, they got some stuff they got to figure out real quick. And we're going to get into all of the details for tonight's game. But y'all know what time it is. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Y'all, it is this simple. It is this simple. The Denver Nuggets, if they are not going to be in a situation where they're going to be able to play defense, do the small things, be connected, make rotations, and be on one accord, they're going to be in bad spots at the end of the game. And this is exactly how today happened. In the first quarter, the Nuggets were playing some of the most discombobulated defensive basketball that we have seen from them this season. The rotation didn't make sense. They were not communicating. They weren't playing far enough up Jokic at the level. The guards were getting confused on X outs. They weren't meeting the roller high enough. So Anthony Davis getting right next to the rim when he does get the ball. They got down 6-22 in this game. And it kind of just felt like, okay, you're off a second night of a back-to-back. They're off a second night of a back-to-back. Is it the energy? Were you just not prepared for the physicality that they were going to play with? And so the whole first part of the game was simply the Denver Nuggets trying to figure out what they were going to be able to muster in order to get back into this game. They got down 13-31 with 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter, and it felt like the avalanche was kind of here. But the Nuggets, they end up responding. I got to tell you, especially the second quarter, they got it back within 10. But, y'all, it was really the third quarter that kind of flipped the script on how this game became a very tightly contested game down the stretch. Well, here's the thing. The Nuggets tied the game up, right? They tied the game up in the third quarter, 76-76. Jamal Murray got a great finger roll. Peyton Watson went to the line. Spencer Jones got a layup off of a cut. Jokic found him. Jamal Murray got another finger roll. Cam Johnson got a nice little hook shot. Jokic started off the third quarter with a great mid-range jumper and hit a three-pointer, and it just kind of felt like the momentum was getting there. It got to 76-76 with 7 minutes and 25 seconds left. And then, again, the same thing that ailed the Nuggets in the first quarter, a lack of communication, a lack of closeouts, a lack of box outs. They started turning the ball over. Jokic had an on-ball turnover. Jamal Murray had an on-ball turnover. Y'all, they went from 76-76 to it was 91-76. So, y'all, over in 3 minutes, literally in just 3 minutes of basketball, the Dallas Mavericks went back on a 15-0 run. 15-0 run. And this is after already being up 21. So this is what's themed tonight, man. The Nuggets, they would go on these runs. They would look good. They would play good. They were buying into what they were supposed to be doing. But then when the moment hit, they just quite simply couldn't make that shot. They couldn't do the things they needed to do. They couldn't rotate. They couldn't communicate. So it was very, very frustrating all the way around. But I do want to say, y'all, that the Nuggets, they showed up. Jokic in that third quarter, if you didn't have a chance to watch the game, you all, that was a spectacular performance in the third quarter from Nikola Jokic. Spectacular. And if you watch the game, Jokic, he started the game off kind of very slow with a lot of stuff that he was doing, but he ended up with 29 points. He had 14 assists in his game, and then he also had 7 rebounds and 3 steals. And inside that third quarter, Jokic had 10 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal in the third quarter. And when it got to be a 15-point lead, it was Jokic and it was the rest of the Denver Nuggets down the stretch of that game that got them back in it. And they basically went on to close out the quarter. They went on, it was 92 to 100. It was 87 to 100, y'all, with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. And in 2 minutes and 43 seconds left, Tim Hardaway Jr. hit a 3-point shot. Bruce Brown got a nice runner layup. Jokic made another 3, and then you get another shot from Julian Strawther. He made a great corner 3. So, y'all, it went from 87 to 100 to 92 to 100, 92 to 101, 95 101, 98 101, 98 102, 101 103, and then they ended the quarter off of a last-second shot. Bruce Brown cut to the basket, and it was 103 to 103 to finish out the third. And you just felt that if they can just put together enough stops in the fourth quarter, they would be in position to win the game. But I got to give credit where credit is due as well, because it wasn't just that the Nuggets were not trying to play defense, because that stretches they were. But Cooper Flagg, who now I think is going to be the runaway rookie of the year if he keeps this up. Cooper Flagg today had 33 points, 4 of 6 from 3, 14 of 21 from the field, and 9 assists and 9 rebounds. And when I tell you, he made so many big monster plays in this game, where whether it was driving to the basket on Bruce Brown and creating contact, driving past Jamal Murray and not getting contact but finishing the shot, 3-point shot over Peyton Watson, he just went bonkers today. And especially with the outside jumper, Cooper Flagg, he's still developing his outside perimeter game, but as of late, he's been playing very well, and he's really kind of figuring out what exactly he's supposed to be doing and how he's supposed to play. And that synergy, and especially with Anthony Davis today, they actually played very well. Anthony Davis in his own right had 31 points and 9 rebounds and 4 assists and 3 steals today. But I'll tell you this, the Nuggets had opportunities. They really had a lot of opportunities to win this game today. But we're going to get into some of the other details. Obviously, I'm going to talk about Cam Johnson. I'm going to talk about the last shot in the next segment. But even with this, man, even with the performances that Cooper Flagg and AD had, there were still chances. And one of the basketball things that happened today is that they went big. So Jonas Valanciunas and Nikola Jokic, they ended up playing like a good portion of the fourth quarter together, because David Adelman, he wanted to get some size on the floor. He wanted to deal with the rebounding and see if he can get an advantage. And, it worked. It worked in stretches. Jokic came in for Tim Hardaway with 6:42 left. He stayed in there with Jonas Valanciunas. Jokic got a steal. Jamal Murray missed a jump shot, but Bruce Brown got a running layup. It was 116 to 117. And then Jokic got a layup, 118, 117. Like, they just started going. But then what happened is, and this actually ended up affecting the rest of the game, is that Jason Kidd put Daniel Gafford in the game next to Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis and Gafford, they actually ended up making enough plays down the stretch with that 2-big situation where they were able to defend well. And Jonas Valanciunas, namely, he got a play right in the middle of the floor, and he had a great opportunity with 4:58 to play the ball. But Daniel Gafford was playing the low man here. Jokic gets it in the short roll, and he just makes a great rotation. Like, Gafford made an insane rotation. He left where he was at the 3-point line, was able to contest Valanciunas at the rim. And again, the Nuggets lose this game by 1, that's a winning play that they made. And so they made some winning plays down the stretch. But on the other side, we're going to get down to some of the nitty gritty, y'all. Cam Johnson, we're going to get to the pass that Jokic made at the end of the game, just talk about some of the things that happened and why I actually think that probably was the best play to make. We got more to talk about here at Locked On Nuggets. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. The holiday season is one of the best times for sports. Bowl games, big basketball matchups, playoff pushes, it's all happening at once. And while we're all making choices every day, one of the most fun places to make the right call is PrizePicks. Now, PrizePicks has added an extra layer of excitement to the holiday sports schedule. You can create lineups that take less than a minute, and the app makes the whole process smooth and intuitive. You can choose from a huge range of unique stats, fantasy score, field goal attempted, free throws made, turnovers, whatever fits your strategy. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. We'll be back for the second segment here at Locked On Nuggets. We are back for segment 2 on Locked On Nuggets. Shout out to you all. Everybody, the chat is bumping. Make sure you subscribe. We're on the way to 15,000 subscribers on the YouTube side. Also, if you're listening to this on Apple, iTunes, and Spotify, give us a 5-star review. That way more and more people can listen to the great content we made here at Locked On Nuggets. By the way, thank you for making Locked On Nuggets your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, go check out our new Everydayer Club. You can get members-only experiences in the Discord server. We can have conversations with us. We get into real details about your Denver Nuggets and the things you're not going to get every single day on our show. So all you got to do is go to lockedonnuggets.supercast.com, lockedonnuggets.supercast.com, and join our Everydayers Club. So, y'all, let's just get straight to it. So, Cam Johnson, he ends up getting hurt in this game, and we have no idea what exactly is going to be the long-term effects. He went up for a rebound, and he twisted his right knee. And when he came down, he pushed it out in a very awkward way. He laid down on the ground in like a fetal position. Now, he didn't say much, but he was able to walk off the court after being on the ground for quite a while with a limp. And then now David Adams, so Vinny Benedetto has a quote directly. So it said David Adams on his concern level, meaning the Cam Johnson injury. So he said it's concerning. I haven't heard yet. He was sitting in his locker. We'll find out. Imaging has to happen before anything else. It was not a fun sight to see, especially a guy that's been trending so well, playing so well for the last month. He has really found his way with our group. We've had a lot of these moments this year. It's deflating, but hopefully the news is better than it looked because we know what Cam means to this team. So we don't know. We don't know. I'm not going to play doctor either. There's a world in which Cam Johnson has a hyperextension, and it could be something as easy as that where he comes back in a few weeks. But the team absolutely needs to have Cam Johnson back. The team absolutely needs to have Aaron Gordon back. The team absolutely needs to get Christian Braun back. So they're just in a tough spot right now because they've lost all of their wings in between Jokic and Murray so far this year. And then they lost Peyton Watson for a couple of games as well. Now, Vinny Benedetto, shout out, another quote from Denver Gazette. He also added, it sounds like the soonest the Nuggets will get Aaron Gordon or Christian Braun back is on the upcoming East Coast road trip. So that road trip is happening right around the corner, and I've shared about this earlier today. But the road trip, just to remind people of what he's talking about, is they have Minnesota that they will be playing on December 25th, but then they have a road trip that's going to take them from the 27th of December all the way through the 7th of January. So it sounds like there's a possibility that between the 27th of December and the 7th of January, which will start in Orlando and end in Boston, they have an opportunity to get back Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon. But again, I'm going to continue to tell y'all, I would just let it roll. Give them as much rest as they need to be. That way they can be 100% when they get back. But here's the other part about this, and let's just get straight to it, because a lot of the chat and a lot of people online are very upset with Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic had an opportunity at the end of the game. They were down one, where they performed with 6 seconds and I think it was 6.4 seconds left. And Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, they get a screen and roll at the top of the key from an out-of-bounds play. The ball got stopped. They originally got a rebound on a live ball, and they were running down the court, and Murray wanted an opportunity to play the advantage to see if they could score before the Mavericks got a set defense. But because it was a shot clock violation, the referee's late whistle stopped the play. The Nuggets then ran an out-of-bounds play, and then from there, Murray and Jokic got a pick and roll going. They got a switch immediately. Murray got the ball to Jokic. Jokic got the ball, and he turned over his left shoulder. Gafford was there. The defender that was on Jokic was there. And then you also had the weak side defender, which in this situation is Cooper Flagg, was also kind of cheating in from the corner. Now, here's the thing. It was essentially, looking at it now, there are 4 Dallas Mavericks that have feet in the paint. And then Cooper Flagg has had a back screen set on him, and he's originally guarding Peyton Watson. And Jokic said, I'm going to make the best play possible here. And he decided that he was going to then pass the ball to a wide open Peyton Watson. Now, let me also explain this for you, for everybody that's sitting in the chat and feels away about what happened. I want folks to know that this season, Peyton Watson is shooting 57% from that corner. Let me restate what I'm saying. Peyton Watson is shooting 57.1% from that specific corner that was right in front of the Denver Nuggets bench. So Jokic, knowing this, said, I can take a very contested 2 right over the top from about 8 feet out, or I can find a wide open 57% corner 3-point shooter that it's good process. You know, and the first thing that immediately came to my mind was the LeBron James Kyle Korver play, where LeBron drives to the basket, but he sees that a very good 3-point shooter has a wide open opportunity to make a 3-point shot, and then he throws the ball to the corner, and he just misses the ball. He misses the shot. And I think there's a lot of hindsight here where I think people were just really frustrated because Jokic obviously has made a lot of game winners. You know, he's obviously lethal from that area on the floor. I understand why people are frustrated. Like, you know, you want your best player to take the shot, but, you know, people are saying, well, you know, the best player shouldn't pass out of that. Well, Jordan did it. He passed to Paxson and Steve Kerr in the NBA Finals. Like, we saw that. You know, Peyton Watson has played really well for this team. And so I understand Jokic's process. Like, I wasn't upset about it. I wasn't mad about it. It honestly was just really, really, really unfortunate. And another quote, Nikola Jokic on the final play, he said, I think it's the right play to do, and I would do it again. I mean, the MVP says it himself. I think it's the right play to do, and I would do it again. He wants to trust his teammates every single time. So it's just that simple, man. Like, you know, I think the real thing that we'll talk about more on the other side is, like, at some level, you know, now Tim Hardaway Jr. was on his right side. He wasn't as open as Peyton Watson was, but Tim Hardaway Jr., somebody asked me on Twitter, what is he shooting? Tim Hardaway is shooting 44% from 3 on that corner. Peyton Watson shooting 57% from 3 on that corner. But the thing that I think is really hampering the Nuggets right now is that their wings that are supposed to be in these spots, they're not there. Like, that same play was made, by the way, by Jokic versus the Orlando Magic when they were up 6 and the Magic were driving with a minute left in the game, and Jokic got doubled, found Cameron Johnson in that same corner, and Cameron Johnson nailed the play, And then they ended up winning the game because they extended the lead from 9-6 and basically put it out of reach. In this situation, Peyton just wasn't able to make it. But I do believe in the future he gets another opportunity. I do believe he will make sure that he pays everybody back and makes that shot in the future. On the other side, y'all, the real defensive concerns for this team, but most importantly, the injuries are starting to add up. And I want to get your concern level with the chat. I'm going to give you my concern level with where all the injuries are with this team. We got more to talk about here in the third segment at Locked On Nuggets. During basketball season, there's nothing like being in the building. The energy, the crowd, the first big run that gets everyone on their feet. Fans want to be there for those moments, not stuck refreshing screens or guessing what tickets are really going to cost. That's where Game Time comes in. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage back, making it incredibly easy to score amazing tickets, fast, simple, and without the guesswork. Now, browsing the Game Time app is straightforward and intuitive. Finding ticket takes just a few taps. Seeing the view from your seat before buying makes choosing tickets easy and confident. Features like zone deals help unlock great seats at an even better value. Now, whether it's an NBA game or another live event, everything is right there in one place. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA. That's LOCKEDON NBA for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today and get in on the action. We'll be back for the final segment here at Locked On Nuggets. We are back for the final segment of Locked On Nuggets. This is your host, Swiper. Ryan Blackburn is still getting healthy. He has been battling a sickness for a while now. Matt Moore has a lot that he's dealing with as well on the other end, so they have done a great job. I am providing you with your post-game report today in the Denver Nuggets loss 130-131. So my concern level for this team from a scale of 1 to 5, I'm at about a 3 right now when it comes to the injuries, because they've had injuries now to every single one of their wings that they need defensively. We saw Spencer Jones get nicked up. We saw Peyton Watson get nicked up. We've seen Christian Brown been out for weeks. Aaron Gordon been out for weeks. And now, with Cam Johnson being down, I just don't know how much more they have in the tank from an injury standpoint. Now, David Adelman said that hopefully the news is better than it looked because we know what Cam means to our team. It is a simple freak play. But, yeah, I just personally think, man, like, you know, you can plan for a little bit. Like, you can plan for having a couple people down tonight. You can plan for missing Aaron Gordon. You can plan for missing Peyton Watson. You can plan for missing Christian Brown. You can plan for missing Cameron Johnson. You can plan for missing Spencer Jones. But this is not something that you can plan for when all of them go down. That's the frustrating thing. All of them. So a lot of this is simple as this, man. They just have to, whatever that thing is that keeps you healthy, gets you healthy, they got to rub that. They have to, because the Aaron Gordon play, he simply stepped too hard. And then next thing you know, there goes his hamstring. It's super strain. Grade 2. You know, Christian Brown, he makes a really awkward step with James Harden on him. He's out for 6 weeks. And now Cam Johnson went up for a rebound. Tried to come down, but then his leg was just in a weird spot. And then he tweaked his knee. So it's just like, these are freak injuries. There's literally nothing you can do to circumvent what happened today with Cam Johnson. They just have to be able to win. Things matter the most. Things matter the most. They have to have all their guys on the floor and be healthy. It's truly just that simple. And obviously, it's really all the way around because you just want your guys to have a full opportunity and a full chance to go out and win and to play together and to play with each other and make good decisions together and to try to win together. But it's just all happening like in the last few weeks. It's like a cluster. It's just a cluster of injuries that is kind of ailing this team right now. So they just got to get healthy, man. And so my concern with this team, even when I talk about the defense, y'all, the defense for me is like they wax and wane on when they play it. They wax and wane on how much energy they give to it. But I think people got to remember, like when Aaron Gordon was playing this season, like the Nuggets were playing very good defense. Now they started slowing down. They had that game versus the Chicago Bulls that they got obliterated from the 3-point line. But I mean, to be real with y'all, like Aaron Gordon this year, when he was playing, the Nuggets had a plus 20.7 net rating with him on the floor this year in the 13 games that he played. They had a 105 defensive rating when Aaron Gordon played this season. 105. So, yeah, I think it's really a big deal that this team has just simply been unable to get enough from all of their players all at the same time to be able to find ways to do what they need to do. And especially, like I said, y'all, the fact that they have as many wings that are on the mend as they are, and now we got to kind of worry about what's up with Cam Johnson, it puts you in a really, really difficult predicament. Now, who's going to step up in place? So Spencer Jones and Peyton Watson, obviously. They're going to have to be the ones to step into that role. But then now off the bench, this is going to ask a lot from a few players. They're going to have to really find out what do they have in Tim Hardaway Jr. When you get Bruce Brown in the game, when you get, Julian Strawther's going to have to fill in some of those minutes, y'all. It's tough, y'all. Like, and then now the question about DaRon Holmes comes in. Like, is DaRon Holmes, is he going to get the opportunity? Is he ready for the opportunity to have to step into this lineup and contribute at a high enough level? That's going to be the question. But I don't know. We're going to find out. He's obviously super raw, and he has a lot of stuff that he's working on and developing. So it's definitely going to take like time, but they're going to have to figure that out. And then this also begs the question, do you make trades? Like, we're going to get into all those talks as the next week. And really, once we find out what the extent of the injury is to Cam Johnson, we're going to have further conversations about that soon. Like, what happens if Cam Johnson's injury is 4 to 6 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks, 2-3 months? Do you just roll with it? Or do you need make additions to the roster? But then that begs the question, well, who are you willing to give up? That begs the question, where can you find the money? That begs the question, who gets moved? So there's so many other questions to answer, but they're 21-8. Best start ever for the Nuggets. They're on pace to be 42-16. So the 40-20 rule is going to be for them. But man, like, this is a big deal, y'all. This is a big deal. So, people are saying, I hope that Cam's not out for 3 months. Obviously, I hope it's not it, but you just don't know. Like, this is all on the light side, by the way. Like, if it's a hyperextension, we're looking at 4 to 6, 4 to 6, 4 to 6, 4 to 8 weeks, like something in that range. At the worst, we're talking about the rest of the season, and then you're in full danger zone at that point. But obviously, we're going to hope for the best. I believe Nikola Jokic made the right play passing it to Peyton Watson. I do believe that this team will bend and they'll find a way back. Like I said, David Adelman can seem to hint that somewhere on the East Coast road trip that they are going to have an opportunity to get AG and Christian Brown back. That will make a huge difference for this team. Tim Hardaway Jr. was special tonight. Murray and Jokic were special today. They just weren't able to do enough to get it done, y'all. Y'all, that's going to do it for Locked On Nuggets. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Give us a 5-star review. That way more and more people can listen to the great content being made here at Locked On Nuggets. Make sure you join our Everydayer Club at lockedonnuggets.supercast.com. This is Swiper. Y'all know what it is. I see y'all on the other side.